One of the best things about Final Fantasy XIV is that you can get valuable rewards in more than one way, and the Moogle Treasure Trove event is one of the best events to do that. It's going on right now and will last until the very launch of Endwalker, and there's a lot of stuff to be picked up if you're new to the game. In this video, I'll tell you about the event and the loot you can get during this event. My name is Ivona from momsden.com, and if this is your first time on my channel, subbing is a good idea. I make simple MMO guides for classes, dungeons, raids, and collectibles you'll love if you're up for some easy in-game wins. I currently cover all things Final Fantasy XIV, and I also livestream on this channel quite a lot. If you're looking for a great friendly community to get to know, you should definitely come by the chat and say hi. When it comes to the event, it doesn't have any particular quest line, but instead you'll be collecting the Irregular Tomestones of lore as a currency to exchange for various items. Completing certain dungeons, raids, trials, and PvP encounters will award you with a certain amount of tombstones. You'll spot the duties that are associated with the event quite easily, as all of them have a tiny Moogle next to the duty name in the duty finder. Once you've completed them, you'll get awarded with a certain amount of these tombstones, but not if you're using the undersized party option, so be aware of that if you're planning on spamming the dungeons yourself. Where's the fun in that anyway, right? Anyway, when it comes to the duties associated with the event, there is Praetorium that'll award you with 10 tombstones, Castor Meridianum will give you 7, Amaranth Dungeon gets you 5, and the PvP events will give you either 3 or 5 of them, depending on whether your team wins or loses. You'll get 4 for completing dungeons like the Aether Chemical Research Facility, Belsar's Wall, Alamigo, and the Gilmid Dark. Some raids will give you 3 tombstones for the completion, like the Labyrinth of the Ancients, Sychar's Tower, the World of Darkness, and the Binding Coil of Bahamut Turn 1 and Turn 2. You can get 2 tombstones for completing Deltascape V4.0, Sigmascape V4.0, Alphascape V4.0, and all of the Containment Bay trials. Once you become interested in exchanging your tombstones, you can go to Limsa Lominsa Lower Decks, Ul'dah Steppes of Nald, or New Gridania to purchase your prizes from the Itinerant Moogle NPC. Some of the prizes are obtainable quite easily through other means, and in some cases you'll be quite grateful they're on the list, like the Heaven's Ward and Stormblood Trial mounts if you haven't gotten them yet. As you'll see, the most expensive item on the list is the Inferno Jacket, which is not currently available in the game in any other way. It used to be a Mog Station item in Asia, and it is the first time for it to be available in the West in any way, so make sure to get it while it's there. This jacket is wearable by any class, you can dye it, and it has freaking Ifrit on the back of it, so there's no excuse to not want it really. There are also some time-worn maps that guarantee you a portal spawn, potentially making you rich in the process. And if none of this is making you farm, there's a 50k MGP card you can get for 30 tombstones that'll help you pick up the rest of your gold saucer loot if you're not caught up on it. Something to keep in mind is that some rewards will only become available after you've unlocked the MSQ required for you to get there. For example, the Extreme Trial mounts that you can't get if you've never actually played through that expansion or storyline, as well as the riding maps, minions, and one of the Triple Triad cards. When it comes to the fastest way to farm, it really depends on your skills and preferences. If you can guarantee PvP wins, then that is the fastest way to farm tombstones, although that is not super reliable. Realistically, any of the dungeons that are not Castor Meridianum and the Praetorium reward roughly the same amount of tombstones per time spent. Also, the raids and trials are relatively fast. Just make sure you unlock most of these dungeons and raids if you haven't yet. And that's all there is to it when it comes to Moogle Treasure Trove this year. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited about getting. Huge shout out and thanks to everyone who supports my content as a channel member here on YouTube or on Patreon. They're the ones making these guides possible, and if you'd like to join them and ensure my existence, you can do it by joining here or pledging over on Patreon and get some awesome perks along the way. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!